Carson. Dr. Carson, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Let's talk about the interview and what you said specifically about a Muslim president. Do you stand by the comments?
Absolutely, I stand by the comments. You know, what we have to do is we have to recognize that this is America, and we have a Constitution. And we do not put people in, at the leadership of our country whose faith might interfere with them carrying out the duties of the Constitution. So if, for instance, you believe in a theocracy, I don't care if you're a Christian. If you're a Christian and you're running for president and you want to make this into a theocracy, I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to advocate you being the president.
Yeah. I spoke with Dr. Zuhdi Jasser today. He's a moderate Muslim, and I asked if he could name a single Muslim country that treats women the way we treat women, or minorities the way we treat minorities in this country. He couldn't name a single one. Was that what you were thinking in your mind when you were answering the question? In other words, the way Muslim theocracies currently operate?
That's correct. I mean, they currently do not tend to operate the same way that our system does. Now, if someone has a Muslim background and they're willing to reject those tenets and to accept the way of life that we have, and clearly will swear to place our Constitution above their religion, then of course they will be considered infidels and heretics. But at least I would then be quite willing to support them.
All right. So I think what I hear in your statement there is you kind of are tempering those remarks. For example, if there was a moderate Muslim that denounced Sharia, that denounced radical Islamists, that denounced quotes in the Quran about killing the infidels or not taking Christians or Jews for your friends, that denounced the controversial life of Muhammad, you would be open to that Muslim running for president?
Of course.
Okay, but, well, then, so basically the controversy is over in that sense. Did you mean to say radical Islamist, or one that supports a form of government as is practiced in Muslim countries? Is that more what you meant to say?
Well, you know, that was implied in the comment, because I prefaced that by saying I don't care what religion or faith someone belongs to, if they're willing to subjugate that to the American way and to our Constitution, then I have no problem with that. That's what I said before that.
Yeah. What do you make of Scott Walker getting out of the race? And he made a statement that this has become too much about personal attack, this campaign. Do you agree with that? Because that's what I felt the last debate was like. You said this about him. He said this about you. Tell him what you think of what he said. Do you feel there's been too much of that?
Well, I thought that was ridiculous, and that's why I absolutely refused to get into it. And some people said it was a weak debate performance, but there was no way I was going to fall for that bait. That's what they did the last time around. We have to be smarter than that. You
know, I agree with you. And I actually, having interviewed you enough over the years, not in a million years are you going to get involved in that. I can't see you. So in that sense, I don't think the debate format is particularly helpful to you, even though you keep surging in the polls. Are you convinced now with your poll numbers that you can win the presidency?
I absolutely believe that. But, you know, I listen to the people. Everywhere I go, you know, they're saying, you are our hope. And the crowds are big and enthusiastic. And, you know, I will do everything I can working with the people to return this country to a place that is up for and by the people. The people should be at the pinnacle. The government is there to serve the people.
Let me ask you about the refugees from Syria and Iraq that we're now talking about, or the administration's talking about, some 200,000. We've been told by James Clapper, by the State Department, that in fact al-Qaeda and ISIS will infiltrate, Dr. Carson, the refugee population. In other words, they want to get into Western Europe, they want to get into America. Knowing that, is it wise to let those people into this country knowing that some terrorists are likely to be among that population?
Of course not. That would be the height of irresponsibility. I mean, we have a responsibility to protect our people. And what I advocated last week is that we use some of our expertise and some of our resources to help those people get settled in that part of the world. You know, what is wrong with all the places on the Arabian Peninsula and Turkey taking those people in? We can help them.
Yeah, we've taken a more...
We have our own refugees to deal with.
Yeah, we have 50 million Americans in poverty, 46 million on food stamps, and 94 million out of the labor force. If you watch this weekend 60 Minutes, the President Rouhani made a lot of statements. He wouldn't denounce chanting death to America and the destruction of Israel's non-negotiable while this president was negotiating the nuclear deal. Is there anything good that America got out of that deal or is getting out of this deal?
Well, maybe there's a secret deal that we don't know about, but it seems to be very foolish. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure out why we don't use common sense. And why don't we put the American people and their interests first? Why are we always looking out for somebody else who doesn't have our interest in mind? It's very hard to understand.
Back to the immigration question which came up during the debate. You had a little different opinion than Donald Trump. Let me ask you this. Should anybody that didn't respect American law and sovereignty and came into the country illegally, should that prevent them from ever getting citizenship, whether or not they stay or not?
Well, I think that's something that we should leave to the American people. If I were elected president, I would be very interested in what the American people wanted to do on that respect. And if they decided that they would never allow such a person to become a citizen, I would abide by that wish.
All right, Dr. Carson, congratulations on your poll numbers. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you.